Hello everyone, it's time for you to have an opportunity to sit down with your local police officer here in Scottsbluff. We're talking about Coffee with a Cop, which is coming up March 12th at Cappuccino and Company.
Correct.
Starting at 7:30 in the morning, runs about an hour and a half. And I have Captain Tony Straub with me. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yep, good to be here.
Let's just first talk about the idea behind Coffee with a Cop. I know it started elsewhere originally, correct?
It started in Hawthorne, California in 2011, and it's just grown nationwide. It's all the way to the East Coast. There's a lot of departments, if you go on the Coffee with a Cop website, that participate in it. And this is going to be our sixth one at Cappuccino and Company.
Yeah, it's really kind of a neat project where you get the opportunity just to sit down with your local officer that you may or may not actually have interaction with during the course of any day or week, month, and just chat and find out about what's going on and maybe voice your concerns if you have a few.
And we have some of that where it's voicing concerns, but a lot of it's community support. We are so fortunate here in the Valley with the community support for our law enforcement. But it's a good time if you have questions or comments, or you're dealing with an issue and you want to ask an officer about it. It's pretty informal, and it's nice. We just get to visit with the public, and we get a lot of good feedback. So it's a good thing.
Of course, I assume you try to have as many officers as possible available during this.
Right, and a lot of that depends on the shift activity. People that are doing training or on days off. But generally, we get pretty good turnout from the officers and from the public.
Yeah, there's a lot of community involvement that Scottsbluff officers are involved in outside even of their normal course of duties and things such as this.
Right.
There's a lot of community outreach that happens with the Scottsbluff Police Department as well as others throughout the county and the Panhandle. And we'll be back in just a moment. And we're going to chat with Tony a little bit more about that when we come right back. And we're back. My guest today is Captain Tony Straub with the Scottsbluff Police Department. We're talking about Coffee with a Cop, which is coming up March 12th at Cappuccino and Company, the sixth one at that location.
Correct.
Going to be running from 7:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock. We were talking a little bit about community policing and outreach efforts. Just to explain the importance of that, because I know that this is not the only thing that the police department does when it comes to reaching out to the community.
Right. You're only as good as the communities you serve. You have to have community interaction, good communication with the citizens to be effective in policing. And so that's been an important thing within the department. Chief Spencer has done a great job the past few years of getting us out into the public more, starting with Coffee with a Cop and National Night Out. The past couple days we did a job fair up at WNCC. We also did the Criminal Justice Career Day. Officers on their own time doing things like Special Olympics torch run or polar plunge. It's just it's really vital for us to be in the community so that people know us and trust us. And that's the biggest thing, community trust. And again, I can't say enough about our community and how much support we get. But those types of programs, National Night Out last year, we had just a great showing. And so the more we can do, the better it's going to be for us as a department. The more the community is going to trust us. And basically when it comes down to it in community policing, that's the cornerstone.
Yeah, I was going to say community policing, that interaction that has been promoted really across the country is one of the best ways to keep down crime.
Right.
Is really a key and a vital part of the plan for law enforcement when it comes to dealing with criminal activity.
Right. Public trust is huge. I mean, that is just, it's very big. And so by promoting these different programs, Coffee with a Cop, National Night Out, being out doing job fairs, or whatever community interaction, it all just helps us. It helps us as a community, better lines of communication. So they're all positive programs, and Scottsbluff Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, Gearing Police Department, State Patrol, all the different entities out here, we try to interact in a positive manner with the community, and to be more social
Sure.
with the community.
Yeah,
It's-
absolutely.
It's just, it's big.
And of course, with Coffee with a Cop, I can imagine all kinds of different subjects can tend to come up.
Right.
Without giving away anything, what type of things have you heard from people in past events such as this?
You know, on the complaint side of things, parking complaints are huge.
Okay, not a surprise.
You know, and traffic enforcement,
Yeah.
making sure that we're out in the public and we're visible enough.
Yeah.
You know, some people, those are on the complaint side of the house, but other things I've talked about is fishing, golfing, you know. So it's just a good way for our officers to interact with the public.
Oh, sure, and I'm sure compliments come along as well.
Oh, yes.
As part of those conversations. That's Coffee with a Cop, which is coming up here on the 12th at Cappuccino and Company. Your opportunity from 7:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock to sit down and have a cup of joe with an officer and strike up a conversation, maybe a friendship that'll move well beyond that singular event, I should say, coming up here on the 12th.
Yep, and if they can't make this one, you know, we're trying to do them about every 6 months. So hopefully the next one or national night will be coming up.
Yeah,
You know, it's
plenty of
amazing
opportunities.
how
Yeah,
time flies, but we've got stuff coming up. So if they can't make this one, we hope they can make the next one.
Tony, thank you very much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.